Hello Fun Function and hello Dev Tips. This is David. You are about to see a small experiment that me and MPJ undertook. Let's just get down here. We're going down here. The experiment was that we tried out a small podcasting format where we are discussing two topics from the Fun forum, the forum that the Fun Function patrons have access to. So there are two videos, one for each channel, and each video represents a topic discussion, sort of like a summary of what the members and what me and MPJ thought was interesting. This is an experiment, and we are very eager to hear your feedback, so please write that in the comments. I'm going to get back to editing now, and the reason I'm filming this is because MPJ and I, of course, forgot to shoot a proper introduction. That's the way life is, and yeah.
Okay, I don't know what's going on with me lately, but I can't muster any motivation to practice or do any of my courses. I don't know if it's burnout or that I feel like I'm not helping or useless. It's not really a lack of motivation. I've dealt with that before. It's actual avoidance. That's why I titled my thread Anti-Motivated. Every time the thought occurs to me, I recoil from it. And this is kind of new to me. I've dealt with a lack of motivation before, but never anything like this. This has been going on at slightly ever worsening degrees for about 6 weeks now. I don't know how to get out of it. That's pretty rough.
It seems like this person is a student. Courses.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think if... Okay, now this is from my own experience. I was at university for 6 years. I had a gap year as well in between there, so 5 years effectively.
What's a gap year?
Gap year is the year when you're doing something else, like you're working abroad or you're just not studying.
Oh,
it's like
I remember
a gap
this.
within your education.
I remember you doing this. Like I explicitly remember like you saying that you were going to return with like a baguette under your arm to like once you return because it was France was involved somehow.
Yeah, I was going to France and I was supposed to work there and travel, but I got tired of it after 1.5 weeks. So then I just returned and I had said goodbye and had a goodbye party and everything. But yeah, when you're 20 or something, it doesn't matter. So if you're like in university and pursuing like a university degree, you have like often a 3-year bachelor and then like a 2-year master afterwards. And at the start, it just feels like it's a long way to go. So that could be one thing that is like really, really anti-motivating, that you will never be done.
Yeah.
We don't know that here. So if this person is in the beginning, perhaps that's what's going on, and but this seems like it's deeper, sort of.
Yeah. I don't know. The only motivator is to get a better job. I don't really like where I'm going now. Oh, interesting. He's not like, he's 48. College was a long time ago.
Ah, okay.
These are most of the courses I paid for through Udemy and West Boss. Oh, West Boss is amazing. He's employed. Okay, so he's...
Oh, that's cool. He's in his late 40s, so he's not an early student. That was what I thought when he said courses.
Yeah.
So that's pretty interesting that he has like a lot of experience of life and everything. So I guess he says that he's already employed and even get to code Java. So perhaps, like, I think so one difference between, so you and I, we're 34 now, one difference from when you were 24 or, I don't know, 15, is that you sort of get, I don't know, picky on
Yeah.
your work. So perhaps he would be really, really satisfied if he were 20 years younger with that work, but now we can sort of like see. Forget about that. I don't know.
Yeah, no. He says also, like, in order to keep myself completely motivated, I seem to never settle on anything for too long, and that's not really sustainable. I find that I'm completely motivated when it's actual real world work that I'm doing. It's just that learning something new for the sake of learning, it makes me want to run for the hills.
Oh, I think that is very common.
Yeah, I can really relate to that.
Yeah, 5 years of university of learning things you will never use.
Yeah, I spend a lot of time on Function explaining the why behind things. Like, what is the benefit of learning this? When can you use this? Otherwise, it's just like, it's so hard to push yourself through learning something without having that, knowing like where are we going. And I think that a lot of courses are really bad at doing that, to be honest.
Yeah, because a lot of courses are so generic. It's like, let's learn CSS grid. This is how you do grid template rows. And then like 5 minutes on that. And then it's like, how do you use grid template columns? 5 minutes on that. And everything is just like walking through the feature list and explaining them.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to find applications for it. And that's also, it's difficult to make a course that is relevant and uses all the features. So it is difficult, but
yeah, I totally
I think
understand
that's the
why
problem
people
with courses.
Yeah, I totally understand why people skip like the why part, because it's incredibly hard to like figure out a good example and stuff. But like you kind of have to, and it's also, I think that a lot of people when learning things try to skip over it. So like I get a lot of people like making comments like, oh, the actual content starts here at this time code, and then they like the time code is after I explain why this is good to learn. But it's kind of like it will not stick in your brain if you don't know why it's valuable.
But that is also like you learn in different ways. Perhaps some people would like to see the example first and then hear the explanation on why you would use it, and then other people would like to hear the why first and afterwards how you use it.
Yeah, that's possible.
One person is saying, like a suggestion is, I find that sometimes I just need time away from the screen. This time of the year I put all devices away and go mushroom hunting in the woods for a few hours a week. Getting back into better shape, eating better, and letting the spring energy soak into me is a big revitalization.
That's very good advice.
So
actually,
what he's implying is, so this was written on May 17th. So this person is suggesting that perhaps it's just like sort of like a winter depression, because he wrote in the last few 6 months, if he was living in Sweden, they have been pretty dark and they have been light for the last month perhaps, but before that it was dark.
yeah, like I the weather affects me greatly. Like I'm in a great mood the last few weeks, but during the winter I've been really, really down. Like there was even one video where like the top voted comment, like top liked comment was, "You look depressed." It's like, yeah, people notice that.
Thank you, internet.
Yeah, that's great.
Great to point that out. That will make him more happy.
Well, it's actually like sometimes it's actually a good thing to have it pointed out, because you kind of it's kind of like this slowly boiled frog concept. I think that a lot of people, especially men, don't know that they are depressed.
Yeah, and I can relate to that when I'm like, I don't know, grumpy if I haven't eaten or something like that. I need someone to tell me that I'm grumpy, and then I just eat something, and then I will improve again after a couple of minutes.
That's true. But I don't think that this is his problem. Like he says that I don't. I guess I'm not your stereotypical programmer in a lot of ways. I don't drink caffeine. He said that he used to eat really unhealthy, but he's entirely plant-based for over 5 years. He doesn't exercise as much as I've been trying, but he's like it seems like he does exercise some, but like he's not a fit person.
So he got a suggestion that was, so what about looking for an open source project to contribute to the use cases of the technologies you want to learn? Or you can bring the new tech into your current job in some way. Or just try to leap to a new job that will give you the chance to learn something new. It sounds like you would be much happier out there. To which he replied, yes, I think this is the ultimate solution. I'm considering an international move. Just do something entirely new. That's longer term though. For now, just a job elsewhere making at least near the same money.
Yeah, like I think that just changing things around is very important for a lot of personalities. I kind of have an attention span that is 3 months. I kind of tire of everything that is longer. It doesn't matter how interesting or stimulating it was at the start. It's just like after that time span is over, I just become antsy. And that is a problem. Like that's a tricky thing with like how do you, because 3 months is not enough to like become good at something. You have to like have a very broad frame. That is kind of why Fun Function was started, because I realized that I had this like, oh, I always wanted to learn this new thing. I always sought this new tooling, and I always started this new project. But I never really finished anything. And that's like, I never generated any valuable output artifacts. But I figured that if I recorded myself while doing these things and recording myself while having these thoughts, maybe there were not enough to write a book or anything, because 3 months is not about, but maybe it's enough to produce a video. And that frame kind of, it has worked sort of well for me.
And so he's also writing that he hesitates to leave his current job because of the money, sort of like it doesn't seem that the money is the thing that is driving him. It's just that he doesn't want to save, he wants to stay there because he wants to save the money so he can perhaps do something else.
Yeah.
So perhaps he could try to find a new job that makes the same amount of money, just to do something else, just to change context or something.
Yeah. It's, money is dangerous. It kind of, like the point of money is to give you like freedom and autonomy and safety, but like sometimes money can also like drive you to the exact opposite. It can kind of control you. It's like, it becomes like this kind of weird heroin-like thing that you need to have and you need to manage, and it kind of makes you unhappy, it makes you uncontrolled, and in one way it makes you unsafe as well, because it's kind of draining you of your energy slowly. So like the thing that is actually the reason why you get money, your motivation and your skill set and everything, like the fact that you're excited about programming, kind of you lose that gradually because you are stuck in this job, and you're just, oh, I need to stay here because of money.
Yeah.
Like, don't put too much stock in that. Like, it's important. It's way more important. Your well-being is at the bottom, then the money, and like it's that's your foundation. Like, it's not the other way around. Your money is not the foundation for your well-being. It's the other way around.
And perhaps he could. Okay, I know that he said that he didn't want to, like that he didn't felt motivated by courses, but if he would to just like take a month off and just do like courses or contribute to an open source project, perhaps that could like renew his energy, so he could still keep on going at the job. So he's losing a bit of money, 1 month of salary, but perhaps that energy would sort of like compensate that. I don't know if I would do it though.
I don't know. I think that just sitting around learning into the void is, I can completely relate to him that just doesn't work for me. I can't do it. I always learn through a project. If I want to learn something, I start creating a project with a theme. But I need to feel like, oh, this is gonna get out to the world. It's my responsibility to get it out into the world. Otherwise, it's just like I just don't feel it. I have to understand how it is related to another human being, how that helps another human being, and my sense of duty kind of pulls me towards that. Learning, that just becomes too related to me. Guilt and duty is a much stronger motivator for me than like learning so that I can make the money. Like, it doesn't really.
And I know you, but when you're saying guilt and duty, you're sort of like over exaggerating, because you would never do anything because of duty, really. Like,
yeah, I mean, I'm being
not
facetious. Like, it's just, but like, Fun for Function is kind of like intentionally set up that way. I know that the first 90% of writing things and getting things out, like, that's always fun. But the last 10% of pushing something out is always horrible. Like, they are never fun. There's no fucking intrinsic motivation involved there. It's always like, I have to, like, at the final parts of the video, I have to like edit this thing out because it didn't work the way I did. Okay, shit, this is bad, but I have to put it out anyway because I need to ship it. And then I have to do the description, which is this template that I do everything. Like, all the last parts are boring. So you need like a
you should actually do the descriptions and the titles first, because you need the energy there, because that's what's like drawing people in.
Yeah, that's true.
And then you put the emphasis on the first 2 minutes, because that's when you lose most people. And then what you do at minute 20 or minute 15, that doesn't matter.
That's true.
You can just not edit it.
True. I guess.
Speaking of which, we are probably at a minute too long. If you have been watching to this part, please write that in the comments, because we want to see how many people are actually engaged, or if you just kept it running and then went for coffee in a different town. Thank you for watching, and see you in other videos. Bye.
Bye.